Yeah, that's pretty. Damn. Oh, maybe I'm live. Hello, Mr. Vickery. How are you, my friend? All right, let's go through our usual check. How's the sound, my friends? Expecting it to be all right. I was not able to connect directly to my phone, so hopefully the internet will stay with us tonight. All right, let's go through our usual check. How's the sound, my friends? I have not one but two dogs today. My daughter's to be all right, so her wonderful dog Blue is with us to connect directly to my phone. He's a little bruised. So hopefully the internet will stay with us tonight. Maybe he'll. All right, let's go through our usual check. How's the sound, my friends? I have not one but two dogs today. My daughter's to be all right, so her wonderful dog Blue is with us. Carol, how are you? Directly to my phone. He's a little bruised. So hopefully the internet will stay with us tonight. Maybe he'll. All right, let's go through our usual check. How's the sound, my friend? I have not one but two dogs today. My daughter to shave yet today. He's probably not going to get a shave today. Hello, Carol, how are you? Directly to my phone. Worse than normal, but yeah, stay with us tonight. Life's good. Maybe he'll. Boy, I'm fuzzy tonight. Check. How's the sound, my friend? You have an echo now? Oh, there you go. Good point, Carol. I don't know why it does that. It turns off and then it comes back. How are you? Directly to my phone. Worse than normal, but yeah. Okay, go away. Stop. It's good. Maybe you'll. Damn, boy, I'm fuzzy tonight. No, stop. How's the sound, my friend? You have an echo now? Oh, there you go. Should go away now. Okay. And you just spent a little time as a sound man, Mark. You understand how this goes. It was picking up a signal from my iPad. Yes, it should be fixed now. See? It goes on and then it turns off and, so there it is. So the Robert Riddle that just popped up is going to go with me to Salt Lake City this weekend to chase some ponies. Should be back on now. Should be set. You can't hear it, but my girls just got here with dinner. As usual, Miguel is in with a comment or two. I guess I can take this off now. I just start the day. I put it on in the morning and leave it on. It saves that running back to the car that we have. You're going to run into the dollar store or get gas or something and you go, I forgot my mask. Well, I just leave it on all day. Works great. Nice to have you all here. Of course, I can't tell how many there are now that the other thing is set. Nice adjustment. Yeah, I should probably cover my face with it. So, Miguel, I just put you up there. Is that a blue pit bull that you have there? Is that what that little dog is? I assume that's your pup. Looks a lot like my daughter's, a blue pit bull. Except that's a pink. No, that's a regular one. Cute dog. All right, we're getting close here, folks. He's adorable. By the way, Miguel, I saw Monica this weekend. What a sweetheart. Caught her as I was at the Albertsons. She says hello, and that you had reached out to her. So there you go. Hello, Cindy Perkins. Oh, good point, Robert. We may have to do Tuesday and Wednesday from the hotel. Or maybe we'll do it from the road. Maybe I'll do it live from someplace in Salt Lake. We'll have to talk about that. Let me put that on the notes. All right. Let's do this thing, my friends. Almost hit finish. That wouldn't have been good. Well, hello, Facebook. David Arday, we call these A Day's Life. Tonight, we're going to talk about loneliness. I'm going to show you, it's kind of a rough video about being lonely out in the West. I'm going to talk a little bit about my week. And we're going to rock it out and get in and out. And then we'll just kind of hang out a little bit here. Like I said, this is A Day's Life. So, let's get right to it. I'm so lucky. I have an amazing family, and we were all able to get together this weekend. My daughter brought her wonderful girlfriend down, my son and his relatively new wife, I guess less than a year, that still makes it. Melinda and I went up, and we hung out. And one of the great things about this place is that there's this beautiful osprey nest that has settled down into this great big old, probably hundreds of years old pine tree, what's left of it, still growing, and it hangs out. And this osprey watches the people go by, watches the boats go by. It's just a wonderful, wonderful way. A fantastic way to spend a little time. I didn't shoot as much as I had hoped to. I'd actually hoped to have more photographs, but I really didn't. So, what else is going on? Do you have anything you want to talk about, guys? I hope that you're all well and safe and happy. And as always, I greatly, greatly appreciate you being on here. So are you lonely? Are you sad? This COVID thing makes it very, very difficult. It's harder, much harder to connect. And I got to thinking about it. Even though I've had lots of friends and family around, I get lonely now and then. I miss my routine. I miss going into the office to see my friends at the office evolution. So it's pretty easy to get lonely. So I want to talk a little bit about loneliness tonight. Not going to be drag, not going to be a bummer, but I want to talk about that. The first thing I want to talk about being lonely is, it's okay to be lonely. It's kind of natural. In fact, it probably does us some good. If we get some alone time, we get to process. We don't have people interrupting us. We get a chance to kind of work things out on our own. The other thing about being lonely is you need to make sure you're physically okay. If you're not, if you're lonely, it might be chemical. It might be something that you need to do. It might be something you need to check. Are you exercising enough? Is your diet proper? Are you kind of working those sort of things out that, we often talk about diet and exercise when we talk about positivity. It's normal to be lonely, but you might need to make sure that it's not something external that's causing your loneliness. Obviously, if you've had a big loss, that sort of thing, you've lost a friend or whatever, you may very well be lonely. But is it something that's not an external factor, but an internal factor? Is it something you're eating? Is it something, there are some, is it maybe a little bit too much alcohol or lack of exercise, not quite the proper diet? So you need to think about that. The other thing about is, are you on new meds? A lot of medications can cause interesting side effects like loneliness. The other thing about loneliness is, why is it you're lonely? You might need to look at your personal relationships. Are you lonely because you're not being a friend? It's that old thing. To be a friend, to have a friend, you got to be a friend. So maybe it's time. The other thing in here, maybe it's time to reach out. One of the things that has happened a lot tonight I'm reading the comments. I should not do that. I should stay focused because this is an important, serious subject. I want to make sure that if you're lonely, that I provide you some resources. But thank you very much for the side comment. I'm totally lost track. You know what? I'm not lonely, and I appreciate you being here, so I'm going to pop these comments up. Yes, Carol. If you're not eating well, if you're eating Cheetos and cookies, you may very well not be getting the proper balance of nutrients, which leads us to this one from Miguel. There's a big difference between being alone and being lonely. That is so very, very true. And you need to think about, you need to balance the diet and your own personal intercourse. Yeah, that would help. Yeah, if you're doing intercourse, you're probably not lonely. So, if you have an old friend, reach out to them. One of the great things about Facebook is you can reach out to people without hardly really doing a whole lot. You don't even have to pick up the phone. You can just zap them a message. Facebook is great in terms of loneliness. The other thing you can do is, can you volunteer? Can you get out? Can you get off the couch? Can you go out and do something? There are ways easily to socially discount. Food banks are great. They need people to put food into bags to distribute. You can do that without getting anywhere near people. You can wear a mask. You can do that sort of thing. It is harder, but just getting off the couch, getting out and getting movement is huge at preventing and lessening your loneliness. There is a need out there, and there's lots of people that you can help. So that's a great way. Can you join an online book club? Or, show up here on Fridays. We formed a great group here. We have lots of friends. We got lots of stuff going back and forth. It's really amazing what you can do on Facebook. Join a Facebook group. Do something like that. Can you create your own group? That's what I did. I was bored. I was lonely, so I decided to set up the Coffee Mates. And man, has it been rewarding. Not just for me, but I got to tell you, I think it's been rewarding for you all, too. We've built a wonderful group of people. Not particularly big. I get a couple hundred views usually on one of these videos, but man, does it have power. I think about being able to reconnect with old friends, Miguel and Ziggy, and communicate with Carol and some of the rest of you, Mark Vickery, and some of the people that are on here. That's a really powerful thing, and it's a great way for me to avoid loneliness because I get a chance to connect with you, even if it's through this crazy camera thing. The other thing is, watch your self-talk. I often talk about watching your words. What are you telling yourself? Are you telling yourself you're a sad sack? Are you this guy on the chair? Are you sad? You're lonely? Well, maybe you need to think about that, and maybe you need to move a little bit off of that couch and tell yourself you're doing okay, because probably you are. I put in the original screen here, if I can go back to this, that this too shall pass. Might be a kidney stone, but it will pass. Your loneliness generally, this sort of emotion generally goes in waves, and if you'll think about it and if you'll pay attention, you can move forward past that loneliness. The other thing you can do, try a new hobby. It's great, because with new hobbies, you got to learn new stuff. You got to talk to people, either online or directly. You can't go to the library right now, can you? But you can get that stuff. The other thing with a new hobby is almost always new tools. New stuff that goes with it. Be careful, though. You'll notice here that on here is nowhere do I talk about retail therapy. You cannot buy yourself out of loneliness, so be careful in that sort of thing. And bottom line is, if you are truly lonely and you cannot find a way out of it, get some online counseling. If you can't actually go direct to counsel. One of the reasons why I did this is I sold a piece to a therapist this week, and she does trauma therapy. She deals with officers who have been involved in shootings and people who have been severely traumatized, and we talked a little bit about that. And so I thought about how dangerous it is to be lonely and how I would like to be able to reach out. The other thing is, if you're lonely, if you're sad, if you're on this list, if you're hanging out here, give me a call. Send me a text message, whatever, and we can connect and we can talk about it, because I'm generally in pretty good shape. I've got a great life, and I'm lucky. I do get lonely now and then, but for the most part, I can be your little ray of sunshine. So, my friends, I promised you a video, and I want to talk a little bit about this video. So, as you know, I've been struggling very hard to write this book. Man, it has been hard. It's called Just Around the Bend, and what it is what I'm working on is a collection of my photographs and then the stories that go with them. I have found that if I voice the stories, if I actually take the typewritten and then put it into some sort of video, that it alters the words. I get a better sense of them. I get how they play and how they go together. In fact, this video is a great example. I don't really like the way it flows very well. It's too much of a bunch of lists. I will play it here in a minute, and I hope that you'll see what I mean. But it's got some really good video. It's got some really good imagery, both the imagery created by the words and the imagery of my actual photographs. So with no further ado, I'm going to see if I can make this work. This is a day's life. I so much appreciate that. And if any of you need help, if you're lonely and you just need somebody to talk to, a shoulder to cry on, someone who's non-judgmental, I really work hard at not judging my friends. In fact, I work hard at not judging anyone. So when you give me a call, please do that. Send me a text. If you want to make sure that you catch all my videos on Facebook, all my Facebook Lives, hit the, I believe it's called notification button. I generally load these up to my Facebook page, which is David R. Day Creative, I believe. I don't know. Ren will not probably tell us. I'm not sure David's on here. So you can catch me that. So, I'll quit yakking, and let's play the video. Or not. There's a lot of lonely in the West. The Great Wide Open, Death Valley, Arctic Village, Big Skies, Mammoths, Grands, Divides, Gulches, Hidden Lakes, No Kellum Creeks, and Lost River Basins, Badlands and Sulphur Buttes. In the great American West, you can drive most of the day and never see another car, much less a town, where every gas station displays last gas for miles, where the roads roll straight to the horizon without a curve or a hill, or make twists and turns so sharp that they look like an angry snake when you look back from over the top. A wide open, a vast place, the American West. The horizon is often a long, thin, straight line here, high, wispy clouds looking like the tails of wild stallions that still thunder across the miles of BLM management areas. This is a place where it's tough for humans to live, out where what's left of a mining town or a farm community still cling to a 2-lane highway. These towns are named for long-dead pioneers, the neighboring stream, hill, or bluff, or a tribute to the likely misspelled Spanish or Native American heritage. Mining towns dot this country with gold strikes, bonanzas, and silver cities. Boom towns where fortunes faded as the mines busted and the family farms got bought up. Some hardy western hamlets still scratch out a living as historic site casinos or tourist traps, with a county courthouse, a church, maybe a rural schoolhouse, and a post office tucked in close to a small cafe and sometimes now a dollar store, with names that tell a story too. From the famous Truth or Consequences to Nowhere, Colorado, Deadwood, Deadhorse, Tombstone, Tensed, Boring, Bitch Creek, and Virgin. There's a lot of lonely way out west. Thank you all. I will probably not see you Tuesday. I will be on the road on a commercial shoot, so watch your Facebook feed. We'll figure something out. Maybe I'll do it from the road. Maybe I'll do it Monday. Maybe I'll do it Wednesday. As always, man, do I greatly appreciate you. I hope that you have an opportunity to reach out to someone this week, either because you are lonely or because you think that they are. David Day, I'm out.